So just a couple of things at the top here. As you've no doubt heard, last night, U.S. Special Operations Forces, under the control of U.S. Central Command, conducted a counter-terrorism mission in northwest Syria that resulted in the death of ISIS leader Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi, also known as Haji Abdullah. Haji Abdullah was a very hands-on leader and involved in many day-to-day operations of ISIS, and certainly keenly interested in restoring the lethality and the higher op tempo that ISIS had once enjoyed. So his death, we believe, dealt a significant blow to ISIS. You've already heard from the President this morning, and I think you've probably seen a statement that Secretary Austin put out, joining the President in commending the professionalism and the skill, the readiness exhibited by our forces in this operation, particularly with the extensive regard towards safeguarding innocent life that we knew was located there at the target's location. And while the cowardly actions of Haji Abdullah and a small number of his followers resulted in the tragic death of at least 3 innocent civilians, the calculated efforts of our forces succeeded in protecting more than 10 women, children, and babies. These efforts included a deliberate decision by the President to execute a raid on the location as opposed to an airstrike, despite the additional risk that decision put on our forces. And as I think you've probably seen, in addition to all that, as they got to the site, they called out to everyone in the building, giving them an opportunity to leave peacefully, quietly, and for Abdullah to surrender himself. Of course, he chose a different route. While there were no U.S. casualties, one of our helicopters did suffer a mechanical failure early on in the infiltration phase of the operation. The helicopter was able to depart the target location and land at another location further away, off-site. But ultimately, it was determined that further use of the helicopter was not practical and, in fact, could be dangerous. And so General McKenzie made the decision that the helicopter should be abandoned and detonated so it could be destroyed in place. First of all, the plan was to have them there for 2 hours. From the get-go, the plan was for 2 hours on site. And it speaks to the level of care that U.S. Special Operations Forces used in this mission, which was designed to preserve innocent life. To go to the site as they did, first of all, it was securing and isolating the site. Then it was to get innocents and, quite frankly, to encourage Mr. Abdullah to leave the site. And that's why they used a bullhorn and made several call-outs, beseeching everybody in that building to leave. And that takes some time, too. You want to make sure you make a good faith effort to do that, and we did. They were engaged. There was an explosion on the 3rd floor and engagement, gunfire from the building, and then they went in. We know that that when Abdullah detonated an explosive device, which obviously killed him, we know that there were 3 people on that 3rd floor with him that were also killed, his wife and 2 children. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the 3. We also know, as I said, that we were able to safely evacuate 10 individuals, 6 from the 1st floor, an adult male, an adult female, and 4 children, and then 4 children from the 2nd floor, which our forces were able to safely get out of the building. On that second floor, where one of Abdullah's lieutenants engaged our forces, actually, one of his lieutenants and the lieutenant's wife firing back at our forces. They were killed, and it appears as if a child was also killed on that second floor. And as for your second question, I mean, we're always mindful of the potential for civilian harm or harm to innocent life. And while the strong indications are here is that the lives taken in this operation, the lives of innocents taken in this operation, were caused by Abdullah and his decision to blow himself up and everybody else with him on that third floor, as well as the resistance of his lieutenant on the second floor. We're willing to take a look, to just examine and make sure